Good evening and welcome to the Board of Select Persons meeting for June 17th, 2024. We're going to start the meeting with a public hearing for Libby UPIC to consider a liquor license application. So if you'd like to address.
Good evening, and we appreciate your time and consideration. I'm Aaron Libby from Libby & Son UPICs, the blueberry and apple orchard right up here on Sawyer Mountain Road. Been doing a lot of different things, and one of the activities that we've had in the last few years is having many different food vendors and also adult beverages vendors, and it's kind of come to a time where we can expand what we do, how we do it with our staff, much more efficiently than having another vendor come in, try to pick the days that works best for them. A lot more paperwork because of the day-to-day things as well. So we feel very strongly that we are keeping with what we've done, and it's going to be really good for to add from staff and consistency for our customers. So definitely here for any questions. We've gone through, we've got our insurance already set up. Most of us, quite a few of us are already ETIP certified through the state, so definitely done our due diligence across the way, and not really from the outside looking in, it's going to be exactly the same, just a different name on the shirt, basically, serving the beverage. We do have we had a partnership lined up, and this is how this kind of all started with Down East Cider, the big company from Maine down in Boston. I assumed they had a liquor license in the state of Maine since they were from the state of Maine, but they do not. They don't actually have a presence, so that kind of got put in the air. So that's kind of where we're at now. So our plan is still to to enter that for the fall. They're going to actually bring up a pop-up. They've been doing this around the city of Boston, doing these different pop-ups things. So it's kind of a marketing thing for them, but be a great way for us to really kind of gain some knowledge on somebody that knows how to do it really well. So. I'd be happy to answer any questions or.
No, I think it's great. You guys have had a number of different vendors, like you said. Every year we go through the process of approving those. I imagine we might see less of that with this change here, but I think it'll be a good change. I saw your drop facility stays the same.
Yep.
Nice.
So we're not reinventing the wheel on that. We're going to be able to, it's our staff, so we can be more consistent. I mean, that was one thing that we really got some negative reviews about, is just, well, it was, my friend said it was this and that, and then you show up on that Thursday and it's like, well, they're not here because it's not financially feasible for the vendor to open up, to bring a staff in. So whereas it'll make us more efficient, but also so we can expand what we have, but then we can cover it, and so it's really going to just makes more sense in the long run. And,
keep it in-house, yeah.
Yeah, so
I see from the application it's malt beverages and wine, so there's no hard liquor?
no hard liquor, no. It's, this is just an added thing, just to have a couple, we're going to start off with just popping cans until the Down East thing comes in, and then, then there'll be kegs for there, but just beer and cider and wine, not getting into any cocktails or anything like that. That's not what we're, there's two other great places in the town for that. We just, this is just that experience for, something for everyone, and it just adds, just to have an extra nice beer or wine while the kids are having fun. So that's all.
So no spiked pumpkin smoothies.
I'm still going for the regular smoothies.
Yeah. If it's a wine based, maybe wine slushies or something like that, but it's all going to be just beer, wine.
Yeah.
Nothing, no hard liquor. So.
No plans for the future on expanding that?
No, I really don't think so. I mean, I don't like to use the word say never, so I never say it, but that's not our intentions at this time. Just that takes a lot more time, a lot more craft needed to that, more skilled, and that just, there's other great places to really to go for that, and that's just not what we're looking.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions?
I don't have any.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do there.
Appreciate that.
Great apples.
Okay, well, if there's no further comments, then we will close the public hearing and move on to our usual select board meeting. Are we good for that, Gail? We're good. Okay. In that case, we're calling the meeting to order, and let's begin with the flag salute.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll look for a motion to approve the May 20th minutes.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, I'll look for a motion to approve the June 3rd minutes.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
I'll abstain. I wasn't here.
Okay. And I'll look for a motion to accept the warrants, but I'll make a mention that the warrants this week that we're approving are only the payroll warrants. We don't have the other package together yet, so we can come in and approve those during the week and sign those.
So moved with the amendments.
Okay, all in favor? Would someone read the announcements, please?
Yes, the municipal office and transfer station will be closed this Wednesday, June 19th for the holiday. The planning board will meet on Wednesday, June 26th at 7 p.m. The charter commission will meet on Thursday, June 27th at 7 p.m. The select board will meet on Monday, July 1st at 7 p.m. The transfer station will not take any brush for the time being until the pile of grinded brush has been disposed of. Please call 432-0064 with any questions. The Historical Society will be hosting bingo at the Bricktown Hall on Wednesday, July 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st. Doors are opening at 5 p.m. Early bird games start at 6 p.m. and regular games start at 6:30. Reminder that the Select Board is meeting every other week until Labor Day. The Appeals Board has 2 vacant seats to fill. Please reach out to the Select Board admin if interested at 793-4475. As a reminder, if you're speaking at any meeting, please go to the microphone so everyone will be able to hear. As part of the hearing a citizen policy, no personal attacks on any individual or firm, including town employees, town officials, or members of the public will be tolerated during any meetings. Please direct concerns about individual employees or town officials to the chairman of the Board of Select Persons outside the public meeting. And please stay current with town information by visiting www.limerickme.org.
Okay, thank you. Okay, going to department reports, so we're going to start with Steve McLean speaking for the Board of Appeals.
Steve McLean, Board of Appeals. In regards to the email, I guess, we received a couple of weeks ago about no one can talk to the town's attorney without going through the select board, I'd just like to express my opinion. I think that's kind of lousy. I think we tried that 10 years ago and it wasn't a good idea. When certain boards, or even the appeals board, want to talk to the town's attorney, we shouldn't have to wait 3 or 4 days to talk. Sometimes it's critical, time of the essence. I know money's tight, but to put a restriction on all the different people, I think is kind of far-fetched idea. But that's my opinion. I don't know how the other department heads, a couple of them I've talked to said they're still going to call anyway. So, I just putting a restraint on people. I know the last 3 or 4 appeals we've had, it's been critical, time-sensitive talking, you know what I mean? We've had conference calls with 2 or 3 of us members and the town's attorney and stuff like that. So to be able to wait 1 or 2 days or 3 days at most, especially if we have something on a Monday or a Tuesday and we can't get a hold of anybody, it puts a restraint on us. I don't know, like I said, the other departments, I don't know if you got any feedback or not, but I think people are in these positions to do their job, you know what I mean? And I don't think you can't show me any waste that anyone just called and lollygagged with the town's attorneys, So I think that's something you guys ought to take in consideration. The other thing is, we're pushing 3 years now with only 3 members. And we've got to do something. The state says we have to have 5 members. So I don't know where we're gonna find a couple. At our last meeting, none of the 3 of us wanted to be chairman this year, so that creates another quagmire in the thing. So we gotta do something. There's gotta be somebody's friend or somebody that wants to service the town. You know, there's plenty of people out there that are vocal, but they should be able to step up and, because like I said, one of these days, we're gonna get caught not having 3 people there and not being able to have a hearing, and then it's gonna cost us a lot of money. So we need 2 more people who've known this for over 2 years now. Right, thank you.
Yeah, well, we've been announcing it weekly, so
I know, well, we gotta reach out and find somebody's,
have a draft.
some soccer mom or something, soccer dad, anyway, somebody's gotta be able to step in.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we'll have Neil speak about the Water District.
Good evening, Neil Meltzer, and I'm here representing the Water District tonight. The trustees wanted me to provide an update on some of the things that have been going on with the district. The big thing is the Emery Corner Road treatment, green sand treatment system. You know, I've spoken before, and others have spoken before, about some of the challenges that the Limerick water system has. The water has always been safe, but it's been challenged by high iron and manganese, pretty much like every single well here in the town of Limerick. Except on your own private well, you can put in a small system to treat it. When you start talking about the tens of thousands of gallons a day that goes through the water district, it's much more challenging. The EPA considers iron and manganese to be secondary aesthetic characteristics. So again, I really want to make sure people get that. The water is, and will continue to always be safe. What's been challenging is, and it's been challenged, it's a problem. When your water isn't clear, when it stains all your clothes, it's a problem, for real. But the EPA, they consider those iron and manganese to be secondary aesthetic characteristics. Tell that to a load of sheets, or try to drink it, and you might not agree with that, but that is the regulations that we work under. The district has been working for quite some time to address the issue in the original well, and within the available funding. So for pretty much all we've really had until a while ago was one well number 1. And that's the well that had the highest iron and manganese. The district knew it didn't have the resources to go to a filtration system, and the filtration systems were still being developed to deal with iron and manganese at the time. So well number 2 was drilled and put online. It's a smaller well in diameter, but it was put online to try to address the issue in the interim. Well number 2, just that individual well, decreased the iron content by more than half as compared to well number 1. But the water was mixed, so you weren't getting the full effect. And there were times we would take well number 1 offline and then use just well number 2, but there was a lot of manipulation that had to happen in order to do that. 2 years ago, the district was able to receive $589,000 in grants and take out a 30-year bond for $662,000, $1.2 million combined, to fund a green sand filtration system. And the building on Emery Corner Road was expanded, it was doubled in size, and then work was begun finally this past year while we went through all the process to get the money, get the contractors, all that kind of stuff. And the new treatment system went online in mid-April, and probably by, I guess, early May, the kinks were worked out. There was some flushing of the water lines, which did cause some problems, and again, communication could have been better. Well, I think the district will own that. but that was necessary to try to clean the iron out of the existing pipes before bringing the new water in. Since the new treatment has been online and working the way that it should, the iron and manganese level of well 1 and 2 combined was reduced an additional 50%. So you think about that, you have well number 1, reduce that, well number 2, reduce that 50%, combined, now we reduce that an additional 50%, which shows you some of the impact of that green sand filtration system. And the iron and manganese levels are now below the threshold for the EPA. So that's very significant. There's still work to be done, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. The second thing that we were able to do with this new system is there's a variety of technology that was able to be, leveraged. And one of the things that was difficult with having the manual system, well, gee, well number 1 is down, well, let's pump up well number 1, well, gee, now we have to drain well number 2. There's a lot to it. And when you lose height of your water in the well, you lose pressure. So people were seeing some a lot of variations in pressure. With the new system, we're able to manage that using computer controls and maintain a more consistent level of water in the wells. So people should be seeing much better pressure regulation. Would it be great if the pressure were higher in some places? It would. But it's consistent, and you're not getting the pressure drops that you were before. So again, we believe that there's been huge gains made in addressing these issues. And I wanted to kind of take a minute and thank the efforts of the funders, which is mostly the Maine Drinking Water Program and the Maine Bond Bank, designers, Dirigo Engineering, the contractors, Northeast Earthworks, the trustees who put in just hundreds and hundreds of hours to make this happen. And a very special thank you to Bill Aronson for all his time, effort, and expertise. So that's what's happening with the Emery Corner Road treatment. I've got more to talk about, but I'll stop there to see if there's any questions. So also please remember that the trustees were working on getting the Emery Corner Road treatment program going at the same time they were doing the Hollandville project. That's a lot for 3 effectively volunteer trustees to do. You had the Hollandville project that was going, and then the Emery Corner Road treatment was just starting up as Hollandville was ending. Next, I'd like to talk about the Deepvale project. Deepvale would basically bring new water lines, replace the old infrastructure water lines on the Emery Corner Road and Central Avenue, and also replace the old infrastructure sewer lines on Emery Corner Road and Central Avenue. Those lines are, and some of them are 100+ years old. Same situation that we saw in Maple and Westgate and Prospect Street. The sewer lines on Emery Corner Road are very critical to get addressed because they run adjacent to Secocas Lake. They are, very close to some of the major aquifers for the town, so it's quite important to get those addressed. The water line on Emery Corner Road, we have this wonderful water coming from the Emery Corner Road treatment plant that has to then, before it gets into the new lines up on Washington Street and going up through town, has to pass through this old line. So there's some, we're not getting as good a quality water as we could. So water quality could be much, much better. I won't say much. It could certainly be better. The project is estimated to cost $1.9 million. The town, the voters, thank you, approved applying for a community development block grant for $1 million to help pave the way for that. Unfortunately, that was not funded. We then, working with the committee, applied for a clean water revolving loan fund of, I think it was $60,000. That also was not funded, not because the projects were not good projects, but there's so much need in the state and the resources are tough. We have also applied for a $1.6 million earmark. Senator Collins and Senator King and Representative Pingree are all in full support of that. That's, as you know, I think the town has some good experience now with the new firehouse and with Hollandville about some of the, it's great to get the money, but it's challenging. So we don't know if we're going to get that. I think we should know within, I guess, a month or so. If we are fortunate enough to get those funds, one of the things we've learned is you can't do the work before you get the money. If you do, then it's not eligible for repayment, which would put the project out a couple of years. So, hope is great, but hope isn't a good strategy. And the district feels that the work on Emery Corner Road is so critical that we're also looking in the backup plan to have a scaled-down project of the Deepvale project that would not do Central Avenue at this time, that would just address the critical infrastructure with the sewer and the water on the Emery Corner Road. That's estimated to cost, very rough estimates, very early on, somewhere about $1 million, about half the cost. That's still a big nut to crack. But I think both the water district and the sewer district are committed to finding a way to do that, and if we need to, do Central Avenue at a later time. So that's where we are with Deepvale. Are there any questions about that? I also wanted to talk about the funding for the water district and also for the sewer district, but where the funding comes from and how we get it and why, how important it is. All these projects, if we weren't able to get these grants, all those costs would go directly to the ratepayers, plain and simple. That's, can't generate money other than through rates or get grants. And so when we're applying for grants, one of the things that's always looked at and that determines how successful you might be in getting the grant, and also how much of it you're going to have to pay back. Some grants, you can get significant forgiveness, 20, 30, 40, 50% forgiveness of the grant. So you apply for, a grant. They say we're going to fund you for $600,000, but you only have to pay back. You're going to get 20% forgiveness. So then your loan is only, $480,000. The districts have been challenged by that aspect because the major consideration for whether you get loan forgiveness is the income of the ratepayers compared to the rates that they're paying. So I'm not going to get into the whole math of it, but basically, if you have high rates and low income, you're going to get more forgiveness because the funders say, well, the ratepayers can't afford an increase to pay for it. That makes sense. Here's the deal. Water district and sewer district don't have low rates, comparatively speaking. No matter what a rate is, it's more than people want to pay. I get it. But comparatively speaking to other districts and to state and national standards, the rates are very, very low. So in order to get any forgiveness, that would mean that that proportion between the income of your ratepayers and the rates, you need to demonstrate that the ratepayers' income is relatively low. Well, how do you do that? It's usually done by an income survey, where it's a confidential survey that each ratepayer gets that asks for their income, median family income. The water district doesn't have one of those, have never done one. So the default is the funders use the median income in the census. Limerick's median income is $84,000 a year in the census. Now, the districts believe pretty strongly that that doesn't represent the income, the average income of the ratepayers. So in order to get better funding, to get the funding we need to replace infrastructure, to do new projects, to maintain things, we need to get the best rates that we can on loans and grants. So the district has reached out to an organization, a consultant called RCAP Solutions. We are working with them. They're in the process of putting together an income survey. RCAP Solutions is based out of Massachusetts. This is what they do. This is their bailiwick. They will be putting together a survey. The results will be confidential. The district will never see the individual results. They'll go directly to RCAP Solutions. What the district will get, and the only thing they'll get, is what the results of the survey is. This is what the median income is based on the survey. So we'll be reaching out to our customers in the next few weeks in order to, one, let them know about this, and ask for their cooperation. It's in their best interest to cooperate, and work with RCAP Solutions to get that information. I've also reached out to the landlords who have tenants on the water system, and I'm hoping to hear back from them about getting some more information about their tenants so we can contact all the tenants directly. If we don't get a good amount of people responding, then it's going to decrease our chances of getting loan forgiveness moving forward. It's just that simple. And either the work won't get done, or the ratepayers will have to pay more, which we don't want. So that'll be upcoming certainly within the next month or so. And again, it's a confidential response. The water district or sewer district will not have the results. They just get what the end product number is. The median income of the ratepayers is blank. That's all we'll see. Any questions about that? Last, future planning. We've been really fortunate in that the chair of the water district has been really instrumental in moving forward with Hollandville, Emery Corner Road treatment, and the others. He's really driven the bus, kind of leaving off where the previous trustees and chairs had kind of presented, and always trying to think ahead, and kind of recognizing that there's going to be more and more demand for good water. You can't pick up a paper without reading about PFAS, and the challenges, and we have those challenges here in our community. And the water district would like to be able to and wants to be able to meet the need when I won't say if, I'm going to say when it arises. So along those lines, we're looking at things that we can do to protect our existing wells and also look for potential future water sources. Really trying to plan ahead as much as we can while we're doing these other projects in everyone's spare time. So the trustees really wanted me to share that. They wanted to share their appreciation for everything that the select board and the town has done to help make these projects possible. I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
I don't have any.
No,
Thank you.
see none.
Great, thanks.
Thank you, Neil.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay, next we'll invite Joanne Andrews to speak about the transfer station.
I have a pretty quick report. We couldn't make it till July 1st. We didn't have enough room at the brush pile. We had a huge mountain down there, and they just couldn't push it up anymore, make any more room. We also had a deadline of June 19th. We had to have it ground, had to have a bill to present to FEMA by June 19th. We made that deadline with Dirt Direct. They came in, ground it, and provided us with a bill of $12,000. I met with Scott this morning, and half of that will come from the transfer station budget. The other half will come from the roads budget, and hopefully we get some reimbursement back through FEMA. Dirt Direct, the owner Alex told me that for the time being, they're still processing the grindings. There's a holdup because many towns did this. So they're having a problem with having access to someone that will take it and utilize it. So at least for another 2 weeks, we won't be accepting any more brush. I'll make sure that it's on the website. We tell people when they come in down there, and we'll get back to taking some brush as soon as we can. But what we've taken in so far is what will be covered under the FEMA. We won't have time to grind anymore, so what we've processed is what FEMA will deal with. I think that's all on that. I just want to say again, we will not be open on Wednesday. This municipal building is closed, and we decided to close the transfer station primarily because the guys were willing to work, even though it's a holiday. But it's too dangerous when you're reaching 100 degrees. It's too dangerous, and we would have to really be careful. And I think probably the best thing to do was to close, to make sure that everybody stays safe. So I hope everybody's got air conditioning, and put your trash out tomorrow morning, because you won't be able to come down Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Joanne.
Thanks, Joanne.
Okay, well, moving on, we're going to start covering old business. And the cemetery mowing and the cemetery committee, there will be a meeting in July, is the update we have there. So the fire building update, the note says they have moved in. So,
I can confirm that.
all right. And reviewing legal accounts, we don't have all the warrants, so I didn't see any in this week's stack, so we'll address that next week if there are any, or in 2 weeks. FOAA requests, there's nothing new, and they are listed on the website. And deed work for Tibbetts Park update, anything?
Mike's still working on the plan. We should have that done
Okay.
shortly.
Okay, the town charter update, there was a public hearing on June 13th, and there will be another one on June 27th.
And it was pretty informative. They had a couple of people here for that. And I mean, I feel like the Charter Commission has done an excellent job. They took notes on the questions, and I feel like good feedback going forward. One of the things that they, that was brought up during that public hearing was, like, if there's any, positions that come with that charter, the select board would be responsible for creating job descriptions for them. That isn't something the charter would do. The same thing with the policies. So if the policies need to be looked at, I think we should take some steps in those.
We can go back to one point, I was putting policies on every week and just reviewing, or you were re-signing, you know what I mean? And then I think we thought the charter was,
Going to be doing some of that. The charter's kind of like a reference point.
yeah,
That
so
leads you in
I'm
the right
happy to
direction.
start like going back through and just putting one on, and we can slowly, I think, get back to either revising or changing, or if they're good still, then re-signing for.
Well, and I think one of the things to consider too is like if there's a town manager
Yeah.
in the future, that would be something also that
Sure.
falls under them, if we do the job description right.
Sure. But maybe we wait off until.
Yeah, we'll look at it. I know that, that there's some resources, and I'll be looking into the job description piece of it a little further from here, and maybe have more to talk about.
Okay, yeah, we'll update that as we go. Okay, Brick Town Hall repairs, we're still waiting on MMA to get the, final say. The town-owned property letters, there's nothing new this week. And for the vault update, John can update us on the next meeting. The new business park sign is still in progress, and now we're waiting on RSD Graphics. I guess they're doing some work on the signs for the individual companies there, so. And shelter survey. Is there any follow-up discussion on that, Katie?
So, I'm still talking with Ray. I think that, one of the things that we're looking at now actually is, am I the only one who got this, or everyone has it? So there's some shelter questions, things that we need to consider with it. So we wouldn't do a shelter because we aren't really set up for that, but we could do a warming or cooling station. There's still in the pamphlet some information that needs to be gathered on that, and I'll work to get together with Ray to finish that. But what we know we need to figure out is when we open for a warming or cooling station, like we might consider over the next couple of days, who's going to open the building, who's going to man the building, and what hours do we want to be open. So I know Ray had reached out to me today to see kind of how the board feels about opening. I know I talked to a couple of you, we would be on board with that. I figure an 8 to 8 opening, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., get the hottest hours of the day out of the way. And I haven't heard back from him, but as far as manning it, I think we would want 2 people here. I know we have normal business hours, Monday through Friday, but would we want to use this room as opposed to just the public areas? And then having 2 people here, male, female, or what have you, and what would that look like? One of us, Vinny and or Ray, someone else from the fire department, EMS, and that's all of these questions. So, all things to consider. I haven't heard anything back, but we should definitely do a cooling station for anyone who doesn't have air conditioning. I'm having a friend over Wednesday. She doesn't have air conditioning.
Well, for those on these next couple of days, there are common areas here in this building that are air conditioned, including the library.
Mm-hmm.
So, emergency, come check out a book and.
Well, of course, we're closed
On the hottest day, unless we can open for a cooling station. So I'll definitely touch base with Ray again, at the very least in the morning.
Okay, next item is repurposing the boat launch at Lake Arrowhead for public access with no boats. The sign has been ordered, so that's in the works, and I believe there was some mention about expanding the parking area.
Yeah, I did talk to Scott, and he said that he was fine with doing that, looking at it and seeing if he could make a couple more spots for parking on the side.
Okay, good.
Dave said that he did an excellent job, Dave Robinson, he's the one that was going to be heading it up, and then Scott came down and did,
Perfect.
it's a lot of work, and it really looked good.
Good. Okay, the overlook and municipal building office cameras and heat detectors. I guess we can get an update in the next meeting when John has more information.
I'm assuming we're still waiting on Cunningham, but, because I haven't heard anything either.
And the squad truck bid review update, that is still on hold. The Building Advisory Committee for Boy Scout Hall, we're still waiting on the poison ivy to be eliminated, and I guess Isaac is going to do some work on the ramp and the railings. So that should be taking place in the near future. Follow-up of Otis 1 quote. And we've got some more information. I guess we were wondering what we're getting with this quote that we didn't get with the last update that they did.
So I've reached out a couple of times and left a message and email, but I'm just waiting for her. Because there was a reason why we couldn't do the Otis One Plus program. It had something to do with their cell phone service with the phones. So I'm not sure if that's what's becoming obsolete. It has to do with the phone system, this new upgrade that they want us to do. But I gave each of you a copy of what we signed back in 2023 or 2022 with them. That upgrade was pretty substantial cost. But I think it will be easier to understand because I've asked her just to tell us the difference and like that, to make sure that what we do have wasn't covered under what they're expecting us to have now. So.
What's the new
Do you
quote?
still have the one from?
Yeah, I believe, we want to know what we're getting for the $20,000 and for the monthly
I think
fee.
the new is a
I'm
certain
sorry.
$60 a month, I think, and like $2,000.
Oh.
It's something with our phone system.
Hmm.
But there was something with our phone system why we couldn't do a plus program, but I thought that everything was included then. So
Yeah. Huh.
I can forward you the email.
Ay, ay, ay.
Okay, discuss the sale of the 3 lots in Lake Arrowhead.
So your committee knew about, yeah.
Yeah, the Lake Arrowhead Advisory Committee met last Tuesday, and the 3 lots are needed because they would like to have an egress out of Lake Arrowhead onto Route 5. There's no plans right now to expand the water into that area, but I think in talking with Dave Robinson, he went to the meeting down there, they will be expanding water. I just found out they're going to expand the whole distance of Long Street, which is right adjacent to the transfer station. So they're going to be running new water lines. They're doing this because they have to keep expanding. And rather than be stagnant, they're going to have to run water to some of these areas that right now don't have it. And Long Street is one of them. And I believe we have quite a few lots on Long Street that haven't been sold. So the committee said that, the sale, as far as they're concerned, is good to have an extra egress. And you had one other lot that we talked about, map 42, lot 297. I guess that's a foreclosure that's, they're gonna redeem that lot. So, the board also discussed that, and there's really nothing we can do because they're gonna redeem it. So,
Okay, thank you. Okay, next item is the proposal from Connectivity Point.
Are you keeping that on the agenda? Do you don't wanna vote on it tonight, or? I just wanna know if you want, you're moving forward or keeping it on.
What do we need to do with it?
Well, if you wanna vote to sell them or not, the lots.
Do we have the lot numbers?
You did, yes.
Okay, well, yeah, that being said, I would look for a motion to sell the 3 lots to,
I can find it real quick if you want.
to Lake Arrowhead.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
I think they were
Opposed.
gonna go with the same figure, the last that they bought, $200 a lot plus $125 a lot for,
Yeah, that was what they proposed,
Yeah.
yes. Mhm.
So $200 a lot? Okay,
and $125.
For the document.
and then the $125 document, okay. You and all in favor?
He did.
I will let Dottie know.
Okay, and the proposal from Connectivity Point.
Gail, can you speak to this more?
Ooh, I'm excited. Do you have a copy?
Hi, Gail Libby. The first question I have is, did the warrant article pass, and is it legal regarding
Sorry.
moving money into a dedicated capital reserve for upgrading equipment in this room? I have not seen any results from the voting on, and nothing has been posted on the website,
I can speak to it.
and there's nobody
'Cause I
here.
got it this afternoon from the treasurer. So, which I have it on the agenda for them to talk about, because there was questions on 2 articles, because they both had an error in them, but have been clarified with our town attorney that they're fine and can be as read and passed. They both passed.
They did.
So when they get to that to discuss, I think they'll move them forward, we'll let Dee Dee know. But yes, they both did pass, and I do have
Okay.
that, they all have it, and I will share it with you.
So the proposal from Connectivity Point is for 56,000?
It's around there, yeah.
It's in that arena.
That number sounds
And
familiar.
$25,000 is now available. So I would say you have to make some kind of decision, whatever you want to do. We'll continue here. We have another system online, and we can move up there, move meetings up there, and let this go through the budget process if you want, if this fails. If this works, that's good. You know, if you want to buy time. The quote will go up, they said, right? It's only good for 30 days or
Yeah.
a period of time. So I would say you have some, we can buy some time, and you might pay another $1,000 or something when you decide, if you decide to do that, or we might move up to the town hall
But I can print.
and not worry about it. So, okay, those are your options. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, look, I guess there are 2 options, and it looks like one option is a $67,000 project, and the other is a $57,000 project.
I believe the difference in the 2 options has to do with live streaming over the internet. And we're now live streaming over the internet there was some opinions given that what we're currently doing could be made better. Everything can be made better. I'd go for the lower one at this point. Anyway, in your considerations, anything can be upgraded should we experience other issues. But right now, let's keep going the way we're going. It's working. This is the good news.
Okay, well, we've got some information about the different projects. Let's take a look at that and bring it back on next meeting and see which way we want to go. Okay, and follow up with the Edgerly versus the town lawsuit. Okay, it mentions we have a copy of the settlement here.
Yep. One, two.
Was that in all of our packages?
I hit Brady.
Well, from my recollection, we did.
Basically,
we did
we passed in the 3 things that we were supposed to. He picked up a check for 7385, gave taxpayer ID. The second one was sending a picture to the attorney of the picture, the accessible picture at the Bricktown Hall, was the second one. And then the third one, we had the choice of a couple different things, and we grinded the threshold at the front door, took pictures, sent those. Those were our 3 requirements. I sent them last week, got confirmation back. They sent them along to the judge, who basically signed off, and it's kind of a closed case now, so we're good.
Okay, good. Okay, with that said, we're moving on to new business. And here we have the results of the June 11th election with discussion and follow-up on Articles 6 and 10, which Alicia,
Yeah, so 6 had wrong account number. One number was wrong, but because there's only one franchise fee account, Natalie said that that was okay. That error was okay. Article 10 was written for Dora Lane. Instead, it should have said Alair Drive. But also the map lot numbers were all correct. Intention, Dora Lane connects. So Natalie also approved that article as well. So basically, I think Dee Dee had reached out to her, Natalie had gotten back, which I think you were all a part of. I think she wanted to make sure at this meeting that you wanted to move forward with both of those.
yes, and they both did pass.
Yep, they both did pass, so.
So let's go with the decision of the voters and recognize the passage of both of those articles.
Do you have the results of?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna go over
I
them.
also want to read them too.
Were they were posted, right? And then they I saw them on Facebook.
I think they got posted to a community page, but I had not seen any final results until this afternoon.
Well,
Okay.
I saw them because I saw Article 6 and 10 where there was handwriting on them. They might have been pulled down after,
I think
but
they still, like, they kind of.
Yeah.
They haven't been posted on the Limerick anymore.
not the Limerick, no. The All About Limerick, they were posted on the All About Limerick Facebook
What do you
page.
represent? You know, don't you represent the town website and the town Facebook page? Shouldn't the results be posted there? It's been a week.
Yeah, I didn't post them. I don't know
I
why.
gave them to her to post,
Okay,
you know.
we'll go over them tonight and we'll get them posted.
Okay,
Yeah, now, well, at least we can take a if they're approved all the way, then we can post them now, and we can put them on our page and on Facebook.
Okay, well, for Article 6, there were 154 yes votes, 103 no, so that one passed substantially. For Article 10, there were 138 yes votes and 109 no votes, so that one passed as well by a good margin.
Do you just want to read all the results, or since they haven't been posted, or?
Yeah, I think just go through them. Yep. So people know which ones they're watching for sure.
Okay, well, I'll go down the list. Article 2, there were 143 yes votes, 114 no votes. Article 3, there were 131 yes votes, 125 no votes. Article 4, there were 123 yes votes, 135 no votes, so that one failed. Article 5, there were 110 yes votes, 144 no votes, that one also failed. In Article 6, we just went over. Article 7, there were 177 yes votes, 72 no votes, so that one passed. Article 8, there were 132 yes votes, 112 no votes, so that one passed. Article 9, 134 yes votes, 106 no votes, that passed also. And we already went over Article 10. That's the result, and we will have that posted. Okay, we have a policy on building emergencies to approve and sign.
Well, that was just adding ward water as an extra or contact, so that I can share it with others in the building now that they're on our list.
Okay, well, is there a motion to accept the policy on building emergencies?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? I believe we all have a copy of it in our folders. Okay, all in favor?
Sign at the end, yep.
Yep, we'll sign it after the meeting. And we have 2 abatements to sign. Apparently, I don't see them here.
You have them? No? There.
Okay, yes, here they are. Okay. These are property tax abatements, so we can sign those after the fact.
Do you need to motion and vote on those?
Okay, well, the first is Lot 39-96 for an abatement of $268.97. So is there a motion to approve and sign that abatement?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, let's sign that after. The second one is Lot 36-008, and it's an abatement of $2,052. Okay, is there a motion to accept the abatement for Lot 36-008?
So moved.
Second. Second.
Second, okay, all in favor? Okay. Okay, Bricktown Hall application. We have 2, but they just need signatures because they were previously approved, and actually, at least one of them has already taken place. So. appoint a civil rights advocate.
There's one, one of the Bricktown Hall applications that you need to approve. One was the one that we approved through email that happened. I just need a signature on that one before there's a new one. It's Anastasia.
Okay, yes, we have an application for June 30th from Anastasia Ferguson for a birthday party. So is there a motion to approve the Bricktown Hall use for June 30th?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Thank you.
Okay, and we need to appoint a civil rights advocate.
Yeah, so the Building Advisory Committee met with John Cleveland about the possibility of some grants, and then there's also some discussion about grants that are already taking place. One of the things that came up was the town of Limerick doesn't have a civil rights advocate to kind of just help with, like, for example, he could have helped with the lawsuit that we had, kind of hopefully catch things before they happen. So we thought that maybe Stan would be interested in it because he's already around the town buildings, inspecting them, doing stuff like that. I spoke with him and he said that he would be more than happy to do that. So I make a motion that we appoint Stan Hackett as the civil rights advocate for the town of Limerick.
I will second that.
Does Stan know?
Stan does. I spoke with him.
Just kidding.
Okay, well, all in favor? And thank you, Stan.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and we have a fuel bid for our, request for bids for our heating fuels.
It's hard to think, we have to think about fuel already.
Can we just bottle up some of the air from Wednesday?
Makes me think we should start talking about the budget too, right?
Yeah, Stephanie, actually from Stephanie's email, that she wanted to start that a lot sooner this year, which I think is a great idea.
Good, I was making notes on that.
Mhm.
Back to the fuel bid. My bad.
We have a,
So that's what it would look like, that's typically what it looks like. I put the date on there, which at the bottom, like when they're due. I'm probably a week or two earlier than normal, and I've been a week or two late one year. So, so we have a little bit of time, but normally in July is when they're looking for.
okay, and we'll get this,
Yep, if it looks good to everyone, or if there's, wants to see any changes or anything.
You said it's the same as it was last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we put out, so.
Yep.
yeah, we're just looking for, fixed prices for number 2 heating oil, K1 fuel, propane for GA deliveries, such, the usual stuff. So does this look okay to everyone?
Question, could there be something on there that it can't be edited after the fact? Last year there was an issue where the bids were opened, one of them wasn't fully completed, then the individual came in and completed it, so I was just wondering if there was a way to add that.
Also, what goes with that is, and I don't know if that says on there or not, if it doesn't, but there's a, it gives you the ability to,
Okay.
reject, to
Modify and,
like, just,
Okay.
so I kind of feel like,
okay, as long as it's just on there.
yeah, so, I mean, so it gives you that right to talk to, because it'd be kind of the same with the mowing contractor, right? Like,
Yeah.
up to some amount, but.
But with that, I feel like that one, the bid was, the page was completed.
No, I know what you're saying, but
Okay.
I feel like that wording, I just don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I'll get it and send it to you guys, but I think that would give you, you wanna just reject it because it wasn't,
Okay.
you could definitely do that.
Okay, well,
Looks good to me.
yeah, well, make a
We
motion.
need to, you need to do a vote, for the liquor license.
Yes, okay.
Before you're done.
Okay, well, on the heating fuels, do we need a motion to put that, to submit that
don't think
bid
so.
request? Okay, yeah, let's just do it then.
Yeah.
Okay, and then going back to the liquor license application.
I make a motion that we approve the liquor license for Libby and Sons U-Picks.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, good local business.
Yes.
Should we vote, just because it came up to discuss the Articles 6 and 10, should we vote to accept those as written and voted?
Probably. Can't hurt.
Okay, well.
Then I'll make a motion that we accept Articles 6 and 10 as written, given the attorney's recommendation.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Good.
Good call.
While we're talking about the 10, did everybody read the purchase and sales agreement?
So that's a draft, that Natalie and Ben have looked at. It does need board approval. It will need board approval now that the vote is good. And then it will also be looked at by the buyer as well before.
So we get some time to look at it.
On the number 6, the purchase road improvement obligation, there's nothing in there for the water and the sewer lines.
So what I would recommend is this is your time, take it, come back for July 1st with changes, things you want to see with it. Because like I said, it does need to be approved, so this is the first.
You said it was reviewed by the attorney, though?
Yeah.
So we would, if there are any
But they
changes.
want it board approved and buyer approved
Yeah,
first, so.
So with any changes we have, we just submit back to them.
So I'll keep that, I mean, that'll stay on too.
Thank you.
Okay,
Or I'll add that.
Thank you.
okay, and the last item I have here, it's been added as a trio conversion follow-up.
So when we were at the meeting, basically what I understand is that Harris was going back to set up this kind of like playground. I can't remember what they called it. It was something like that for them, the people who use Trio, to kind of try out the upgrade. Because when we did vote to do the update back a year ago, it was for the Trio web. Which is the cloud and everything.
I think Gail and I were chatting a little bit before and hoping that someone kind of be the Trio person in this building that, and I would love to do it if I knew Trio, but I don't know Trio at all. Like, I don't work with it, so I'm not a good resource.
Well, and I don't know if it sounded like Harris was working directly with Chris.
I think so, and I think we were just waiting. I mean, what I got was that he was going to reach out.
Yep.
But I don't know if I'm just not in the loop with it, and maybe he
Gotcha.
has reached out to some of the others. Maybe they know something that I don't know, or if we have, somebody who's that point of contact.
Okay, so maybe we just start with touching base with Chris and seeing if he has any additional information, then we go from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything, and I thought I might be in the loop because I had set the meeting up, and Will and I had kind of gone back and forth, but like I said, I mean, I couldn't tell you the first thing about it.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll move on to the hearing of citizens, if there's any. I see some citizens, but I see no hearing. Okay, with that said, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?